It's time for the Ultimate Five here on the Ultimate Seattle Sports Show. Aaron Goldsmith still with us for one more segment before he heads over to T-Mobile Park and gets ready for the Mariners and the Phillies. Let's bring in our producer Joel to rank the top 5 Mariners games so far this season. Joel?
So far, Joel. So far.
I know there's going to be a lot more great games here ahead of us. I'm sure of it.
All right, what do you got for number 5?
Number 5, well, you got to go with Kade Anderson. The build-up to him coming up all summer long, everyone was anticipating him being on the mound for Seattle, and he didn't disappoint. You know, he went 5 2/3 innings, only gave up 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts in front of a sold-out crowd. It was amazing.
Aaron, you called the action. What did you think of that debut?
Yeah, I thought it was terrific. I mean, you think about the way that you make your major league debut. Do you try to find a soft landing for a guy? Maybe you get him on the road. Maybe you get him against a lower level lineup. Saturday, nationally televised game, sold out crowd, elite franchise in the Chicago Cubs, who happen to be maybe the best team against lefties in all of baseball this year. Go get him. And he pitched remarkably well. So it was no soft landing for Kade Anderson, and he really, really was terrific. I was incredibly impressed. That game could have gone sideways fast for any lefty making his major league debut. Showed a lot about what he has both in the arm and also the poise.
And I'll say this, it's so awesome when Aaron's doing the nationally televised games because we have somebody that actually knows the team, not mispronouncing players' names. I mean, stay on those, Aaron. Stay on those nationally televised games.
I'll do what I can.
All right, number 4.
Number 4, we go to J.P. Crawford. Guys, just getting activated today. He had a walk-off single April 11th against the Astros. Right before that, Rivas walked to load the bases in the 9th. Munoz got out of a bases-loaded jam in the top of the 9th. So it was an incredible game. J.P. Crawford came up clutch. Mariners swept the Astros that game, and they've owned them this season.
Digging deep, going back to April, Joel.
Yeah.
Man.
Can't
Aaron,
be a prisoner of the moment, Paul.
I'd like to ask Aaron if he remembers any game in April, but maybe he does. Aaron?
I can still remember what I said as JP walked to the plate that fateful day. That was a while ago. There's no doubt. But it does go back to what we were talking about earlier. I mean, I think JP is currently tied with Mitch Haniger for the most walk-off plate appearances in Mariners history. He's just got that to him, and the game seems to find him in those late close situations. And I don't know if there's anybody I'd rather have at the plate than J.P. Crawford when the game's on the line.
Yeah, man. That little anecdote you just said just reminds everybody how much studying and how much work you put in to your job, because the stuff you come up with during the broadcast for 9 innings is very impressive, man. So that was just a little anecdote of what you do and the character you have. So that's very cool.
I'll say this, Joel, though. Any win over the Astros should be number 1 in my list. I mean, number 4 is too low for me. Just put win over the Astros 1 in my list.
All right, what's number 3, Joel?
Number 3, we go back to July 20th against the Reds. For some reason, the Reds decided to walk Dom Canzone to get to Cal Raleigh. I'm like, what are you guys doing? He was the home run leader last year. But they did for some reason, and Cal made him pay with a grand slam.
Well, to be fair to the Reds, Joel, I mean, Cal wasn't hitting so well at that moment there. So I think they maybe, and Dom Canzone was. But correct me if I'm wrong there, Aaron.
No, you're right. I thought it was a remarkably progressive move from a manager who's probably perceived as an old school guy, a future Hall of Famer in Terry Francona. And if I remember correctly, I feel like that was the first pitch of the at-bat to Cal.
Yep, it was.
So it was like a grand slam with immediate authority coming on the first pitch. That was a sweet moment, man. You were hoping that would kind of turn the tide. It took a little bit of time, but I would have to imagine the feeling that Cal Raleigh had around the bases there was one of his more memorable home runs, certainly this year.
All right, Joel, what's number 2?
Well, we're going to stick with Cal, the big dumper, hitting 3 bombs last night against the Phillies. I mean,
listen, that had to be in your top 5.
Yeah, it was the first time a Mariner had ever done that at T-Mobile Park. It was the first time a Mariner had done it since 1999 with Edgar hitting 3 bombs. It's the first time a Mariner catcher hit 3 bombs since Dan Wilson did it back in '96 against Paul's Detroit Tigers.
Listen, I mean, say what you want. It wasn't a fantastic game, but it was a fantastic performance, especially at the level Cal has been playing lately. For him to come out of there and just bombs away was pretty cool, huh, Aaron?
Well, I love home runs, and I especially love dumper homers. So to see him have his first ever 3-homer game on a night like that was really special. I would easily put that in the top 5. There might feel like there's some recency bias there since, it was like 8 hours ago. But nonetheless, that was a really, really fun night at the Yard. And to see the Mariners tee off as often as they did and to have Cal have that kind of a game, man, it did feel like something really special.
Well, and just to have Cal and Julio taking one deep in the same inning,
Yes.
I mean, that's what we talked about, Aaron, earlier, getting them hot, getting a couple guys hot at the same time. So that was key.
Well, I think anytime you run out of fireworks, too, you have to be in the top 5. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the fact that they ran out of fireworks was a little bizarre for sure. All right, what's number 1?
Number 1, well, again, another recent game. So you go back to the Kade Anderson debut. Randy Arozarena led off the game with a home run, robbed a guy of a home run, and walked off the game with a home run. First Mariner to ever lead off a game with a homer and walk off with a homer ever, of all time. He did that against the Cubs on Saturday.
Yeah, man, no argument. I mean, no argument. Arozarena is one of those guys who's kind of he's kind of been a lightning rod this year for certain things. And but man, you cannot, as Aaron talked about earlier, you can't argue the success this guy has had at the plate and the way he has carried this ball club through some sluggish times this year, huh, Aaron?
There's no doubt. And the Mariners have been around for 50 seasons. I don't know where that ranks in terms of a personal performance in a game. But when you think about the fact that the Mariners are down to their final out, it was as unlikely of a win as maybe the Mariners have had this year. Mm-hmm. The pitcher he was facing had the longest active scoreless streak in baseball at 25-ish innings. He was immediate lockdown, and that the game got to Randy again. The first pitch, last pitch thing, the robbing a home run in the middle, the fact that if he makes an out, game's over with. That is about as good of a game as a major league hitter can possibly have, and it came at the exact right time. So good on Randy Arozarena. Not a surprise he's the guy when the light was the brightest that he came up with a big moment.
And we needed that robbery, Joel. That was my number 1 as well, but my number 1 craziest game, and it's such a long season. I'm going back to that Angels game, Joe Adell. Didn't he rob three home runs in that game, Aaron?
Chris, we're talking about good highlights for the Mariners.
Well, I know, Joel, but I'm saying we deserve a few games like that.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure.
That was the wildest game of the year.
Listen, I get the feeling if you threw a top 20 out there, Aaron could kind of wax on about all 20 because he has that kind of a mind. But we appreciate you just jumping on and being able to play this Ultimate 5 with us, Aaron, because I'm sure your stories could go a lot longer than they have.
Well, it's a pretty solid top 5 list, and the games recently have been especially memorable, and hopefully that's a sign of good things to come for the Mariners. It's been a gauntlet of a month of August, and they're hanging in there, so we shall see. If they could get 2 series wins on this homestand, Cubs and Phillies, you just got to win one of the next 2 to get a series win from the Phils. I mean, that would be really impressive with the way that those 2 teams have been playing in particular, and hopefully the Mariners can ride that into September.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, it has been great to have Aaron Goldsmith on the show today, talking a whole lot of Mariners, having some fun with us in the Ultimate 5. Hey, listen, enjoy the rest of the series, Aaron, and we'll be watching on TV and listen to those velvet tones of Aaron Goldsmith. Thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, guys. Great being with you.